Salt Bae once took the internet by storm with his signature salt sprinkle. But now, he's known less for his steaks and more for his scams. Banned from major events, ripping off customers, and ridiculed by the internet, Salt Bae has gone from a viral icon to global embarrassment. Born in 1983 in Turkey to a poor Kurdish family, his father worked in the mines. At 12 years old, he left school to become a butcher's apprentice, working for free just to learn the craft. By 2010, he opened Nusret Steakhouse in Istanbul. Back then, it was very loved by locals and a full meal was a fraction of today's insane prices. But 4 years later, everything changed as he opened his restaurant in Dubai, bringing over-the-top theatrics, gold-covered steaks, and absurdly expensive meals. Then came the moment that made him famous. One flick of salt in a cobra pose turned him into an internet legend overnight. Celebrities flocked to his restaurants, and his brand exploded worldwide. But while the internet made him famous, it would also be the thing that destroyed him. Salt Bae's restaurants were making millions, but behind the scenes, his employees were getting scammed. In 2019, 4 former waiters came forward with a shocking claim that Salt Bae was stealing their tips. According to the lawsuit, Nusret was being sued for withholding tips from staffers and firing anyone who complained about it. The case ended in Nusret paying $230,000, and things were only going to get worse. Just months later, a group of diners were charged for steaks they never ordered. The bill came back at over $5,000, far more than what they had agreed to pay. The waiter had upgraded their steaks to the gold-plated version without telling them. When the customers refused to pay, the restaurant called the police on them. Not wanting to escalate things, they paid, but they were furious, and even called Salt Bae a communist-loving piece of crap. Famous YouTuber Guga Foods visited the restaurant and said he'll never go back and criticized it.
It's not great, don't waste your time or money on this one.
But it wasn't just him. Nick DiGiovanni even joked about how empty Salt Bae's restaurant was, saying,
"And it's just me and Manny. Believe it or not, we are the only ones in the restaurant once again, other than Salt Bae himself."
Highlighting how overpriced and unappealing the experience had become. On TikTok, Salt Bae himself claimed this.
"We are not expensive. This is, perception, not reality."
But users were quick to call him out. One Red Bull £30, from Poundland it's £2, explain. Even on Google, his rating were 2.7 stars, and people said that food quality is bad, service is bad. Salt Bae's overpriced restaurants were already controversial, but in 2018, a video of Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro feasting at his restaurant triggered global outrage. At the time, 2/3 of Venezuelans reported losing an average of 11 kilograms due to severe food shortages, hyperinflation, and poverty. Yet here was Maduro, laughing and having a good time with Salt Bae. Maduro described the meal as a once-in-a-lifetime experience. But meanwhile, Venezuelans were suffering. Salt Bae was called a weirdo as he personally invited Maduro. People were mad and angry, but what would follow was even more disastrous. Salt Bae's fire show in Istanbul left 4 tourists severely burned after it went horribly wrong. I have some burns, but my girlfriend Krisrina Tresnakova is much worse than me, who later made a video titled, "The Moment That Changed My Life." She suffered burns across 35% of her body. The restaurant offered no compensation, and they also reportedly destroyed all evidence of the incident, yet business carried on as usual. And while controversies swirled, Salt Bae's ego only grew. He claimed, "Now if you ask a kid, they want to be Salt Bae, they see me as an idol." But on Reddit's I Am the Main Character group, people roasted him, with one user saying, "I can't stand this." And the arrogance didn't stop there. Salt Bae bragged about a really expensive meal. In an Instagram post, he showed a customer's bill totaling £140,584, captioned with, "Quality never expensive." 90% of the check is alcohol. What quality are you talking about? Salt Bae received a barrage of criticism from other social media users. Most overrated and overpriced. This is lame. That amount of money will help a whole village from dying. People are below the poverty line. What's the point of posting this? Shame on you. And others calling him insane. But Salt Bae, the short man with huge ego, continues to be defiant by showing himself holding the World Cup on social media again, leading to his next big mistake. In 2022, during the world's most watched event, Salt Bae made an appearance no one expected or wanted. As Argentina celebrated their historic victory, Salt Bae entered the field and proceeded by grabbing the trophy, a sacred symbol that only the winners and officials are allowed to touch. and treated it like a prop in his own show, slapping it, posing, and even doing this. Salt Bae uploaded this on TikTok and got faced with comments saying to cancel him. But his most desperate moment came when he tried to get Messi's attention, again and again. Messi wasn't interested, he barely looked at him, but in the end, he gave in, posing for a single forced photo. And now, the internet was roasting him alive.
Help me spot her. So,
Desperate to save face, he uploaded an old photo of Messi dining at his restaurant, trying to convince the world they were close. But no one bought it, and the memes and hate weren't the only thing Salt Bae had to worry about. FIFA was asking the real question, how did he even get on the field? FIFA claimed that he wasn't supposed to be there. His appearance was unauthorized, and as we've seen before, only an exclusive list of people are allowed to touch the trophy. But there was one theory. Since Salt Bae would upload a video with FIFA's president, some believed he pulled strings to get Salt Bae onto the pitch.
The theory is that he was able to get on the field because he's somewhat friends with the FIFA commissioner, like the head of the FIFA org.
No one knows for sure, and regardless, the US Cup banned Salt Bae, and another event, Rolling Loud LA, banned him due to his actions. And even after being banned, Salt Bae kept flexing. In a post captioned, "Money comes, money goes," he casually showed off a $108,000 bill, sparking instant outrage. People said, so expensive, it's embarrassing. Shameful, as millions of people suffer from hunger. That would feed at least 100,000 children in hunger around the world. How embarrassing. But here's the thing. Scrolling through his recent posts, people were still talking about the World Cup incident. For a long time, Salt Bae stayed quiet, but I finally found his response. In Arabian Business's page, they posted a video in which they asked Salt Bae,
why did you go onto the World Cup pitch after the final, touch the World Cup, and kiss the World Cup? What were you thinking?
I love Argentina. I love football. This is the accident, my mistake. Before I don't know the rules. Now I know the rules.
Honestly, he responded well, and surprisingly, a lot of people supported him. But not everyone was convinced, some mocked him. And here's the twist, he's coming back for the 2026 World Cup, but this time he promises to just watch from the stands and never touch the trophy. Will he keep his word?
I guess we'll never know.